Hi Andy, this is Balayasu. So we have started lecture series in C programming language. On part of this, we have started the concept called pointers. So in the last video, we have covered the basic introduction towards the pointer. If any one of you not viewed this introduction video, please go to my channel and you can find the video number one, that is pointers part one. So after listening to the pointers part one, it is easy to understand this today's topic. So in the last class, what we have discussed? We have discussed the following things. The first one is what is we have to understand the computer's memory. So what is the computer memory? So every computer has a primary memory, and this primary memory consists of more number of cells, and these cells are memory locations are capable of holding the data. How much amount of data they hold? They hold either 1 byte of data or 2 bytes of data, depends on the computer. So generally, we are talking about the old version. That means we are assuming that every memory location is capable of holding 1 byte of uh, memory, 1 byte of data. So we have seen what are the three major areas in computer memory. First one is the stack, and the second one is the heap, and the third one is the global memory. Not only these three, but we have another memory layouts. They are text segment. Next one is BSS, and then next one is called shared libraries. So up to this concept, we have studied in the last class. So today we are going to discuss about the definition of a pointer. So before going to study the definition of a pointer, here we are going to see some basic concepts. What it is? In C programming language, every variable has a name and a value associated with it. So whenever a variable is declared, what happens? So to specific block of memory is allocated for that variable to hold the value of that variable. So how much amount of memory or how much amount of block is allocated for the particular variable is depends on the type of data it is holding. For example, if a variable is of type integer, then it stores 2 byte, it allocates 2 bytes of memory or 4 bytes of memory, depends on the compiler. Modern compilers are allocating 4 bytes of memory for an integer variable. Old compilers are allocating 2 bytes of memory to store the integer variable. Now, next one. Let us say, for example, consider the statement here: integer x is equal to 10. Integer x is equal to 10. When we execute this statement, what happens? Compiler allocates 2 bytes of memory for the variable x. So here, why 2 bytes of memory? Because we are assuming that we are more old compiler. Old compilers allocate 2 bytes of memory. Therefore, compiler sets aside 2 bytes of memory to hold the value 10 for the variable x. Sure, sir. What we have discussed, every variable in C programming language has a name and a value associated with it. Sir, whenever a variable is declared, compiler allocates some specific block of memory to hold the value of that variable. And the size of the block or memory allocation is depends on the type of data that is holding. If, for example, if it is a character data, it allocates 1 byte of memory. If it is integer data, it allocates 2 bytes or 4 bytes of memory. If it is a floating point data, it allocates 4 bytes of memory, and so on. Depends on the type of the data. Memory within the computer system is allocated for the particular variable. We have taken one example. What is that example? If the statement is like this: integer x is equal to 10. So here the variable name is x and the value of the variable is 10 and the type of the data is integer. Therefore, when the statement executes, the compiler sets aside 2 bytes of memory to hold the value 10. Not only allocating the memory, but compiler also set up a table called symbol table. Sir, what is a symbol table? Symbol table is a data structure. that is used to store the symbols that are used in our computer, in our program. For example, in this, what is the variable name? X. This is called symbol name. So this symbol will be stored in the symbol table. Along with the symbol name, it also stores the relative address. What is the relative address here? Where the two blocks of memory is allocated for the variable X. That relative address is also stored in the symbol table. Therefore, what we have to finalize is every compiler for every variable it sets up a symbol table. So it stores the particular symbol in a symbol table. So the symbol table consists of two entries. One is the symbol name, second one is the relative address, where the block of memory is allocated for that variable. That is called the here symbol table. Now we are talking about addresses. If you summarize these concepts, what we have decided, every variable has a name and every variable has a value and every variable has a address. So therefore here I am going to write here a thing. So let us say, for example, variable name is X, and then what is the value of X here? 10. So here this X indicates the name of the variable, and this value within the box that called as a value of that variable. And then for every variable, compiler allocates some memory, so therefore it is address of the variable. So these are the three components here: name of the variable, value of the variable, and address of the variable. So in some textbooks they refer value as R value. In some textbooks they refer address as L value. Sir, L value and R value are representing value of a variable and address of a variable. So R value indicates the value of a variable and L value refers to the address of a variable. So don't get confused. R value indicates the value of the variable and L value indicates the address of the variable. Sir, this R value should be placed or appear always on the right hand side of the assignment statement. On the right hand side of the assignment statement. For example, here I have taken integer x is equal to 10. Integer x is equal to 10. Sir, here if you consider this part, we have assignment operator equal to, and here on the right hand side we have R value, and then on the left hand side we have L value. So what the conclusion is? Conclusion is R value should be appear always on the right hand side of the assignment statement. If anybody writes like this, 10 is equal to k, this statement is illegal, because on the right hand side of the assignment statement, we should have the R value, that is the value of the variable. But in this case, what is happening? On the left hand side, we have the value, on the right hand side, we have the variable. This type of assignment statements are illegal. Okay, sir, I am repeating the conclusion here. So every variable has a name and a value and the address. So this value is referred as a R value and the address is referred as a L value. So R value and L value are referred as value of the variable and address of the variable respectively. And one more point here, R value should be appear on the right hand side only. It should not appear on the left hand side of the assignment statement. If it is happened so, it is an illegal. It is an illegal statement. For example, if we declare the variable like this, integer x comma y, integer x is equal to 10, integer x is equal to 10 comma y, then if I write y is equal to x, is it legal or illegal, sir? It is always a legal statement, because Here we have specified the x value. This x is representing the value of that of that variable. So therefore, it indicates that y is equal to 10. Therefore, this type of statements are legal. But this type of statement 10 is equal to k is an illegal statement. So this is the concept of R value and then L value. I think you got the clear idea. Sir, I think you may have the doubt. Sir, why you are talking about the addresses here? Because pointers are the addresses. I think you got my point. Pointers are the addresses or pointers are the memory locations. You will come to know that point. So we are going to define the concept called pointer. Sir, what is a pointer? Yes, sir. What is a pointer? A pointer is a variable. A pointer is a variable that contains the address of another variable. Pointer is a variable that contains address of another variable. Here, I have told you one thing. What I have told? I have taken one example. Integer x is equal to 10. Integer x is equal to 10. So here, if I represent like this, so it is the memory location and the value stored in that memory location is 10, and here we have the address, and here we have the address, and then here we have the name x. So here x is the name and 10 is the value and address. Let us say for example the address of the variable x is 2000. Address of the variable x is 2000. So now if I want to store this address, then what I have to do? I have to go for the pointer. Therefore, pointer is a variable. Pointer is a variable to store the address of another variable. Let us say I am taking one more variable like this p. So where p is a pointer, it is pointing to the address of another variable. What is that variable? X. Therefore, what is the value of p? Value of p is equal to address of x. What is the address of x? 2000. That's why we are telling what is a pointer? Pointer is a variable that holds the address of another variable. In other words, pointer is a variable that contains the memory location of another data item. I am repeating the statement, sir. What is a pointer? Pointer is a variable that contains the memory location of another data item. The data item may be either a variable or an array element. Either a variable or an array element. So this is the definition of a variable. I think you got the very good idea about pointer. So what is a pointer? Pointer is a variable that holds the address of another variable, or pointer is a variable that contains the memory location of a data item. That data item may be either an ordinary variable or a array elements. Right, sir? Now we are going to see how to declare a pointer variable. How to declare a pointer variable. It is very simple. The syntax we have to follow to declare a pointer variable is we have to specify the data type followed by star followed by name of the pointer. So this is the syntax we have to follow. Data type followed by star followed by pointer name. So here what is the data type? Here the data type is the data type of the value that the pointer will point to. That the pointer will point to. That means, for example, here P is pointing to what type of data? Integer data. Therefore, what is the data type of the pointer variable? Integer. For example, if my pointer is representing to character data, then what is the data type of our pointer? It is a character. If, for example, if the pointer is pointing to floating point data, then my pointer is of the type called float point. So this is the syntax we have to follow while we are declaring a pointer variable. What is the syntax? First, we have to specify the data type, followed by star, followed by pointer name. What is the data type? Data type is the data type of the value that the pointer will point to. So here, in this example, I have taken integer star pnum. In this declaration, I have the data type. What is the data type? Int. And what is the pointer variable name? Pnum. So here the pnum is the pointer variable that is pointing to the integer type of data. That's why the data type of this pointer variable is an integer. The second example, character star pch, where pch is the pointer variable name, pointer name, which is pointing to the character type of data. Therefore, the data type of this pointer variable is char. Now coming to third point, float star pf num. So pf num is another pointer which points to the floating point data. Therefore, the data type of this variable pointer variable is float. This is the declaration of point.